No, not that's at the end.
Okay. Oh, good. You have notes. I love this. You sound like the Cookie Monster. Oh, I wish we had cookies right now. All right.
Let's go. So today,
Today.
she says, "Oh, that's right. With the hat on, I gotta do like gangsta style,
You do have to be gangster
like this
style.
gangsta." I don't know. Can I do it with the
Hey, look, I have
mic
pants
check?
on
1,
today.
2, 1, 2. Pantalones.
Pants, full coverage. What?
Pantalones. Let's see here.
Pantalones.
I'm wearing socks. Check them out. R2D2 and Chewbacca.
Chewy.
Chewy. R2
I
and
love
Chewy
Chewy.
in the house.
I was R2D2 for Halloween one year. It was probably in 2019.
How am I going to do this with the hat?
I mean, just put it on your hat. Be... You look like you're about to rap. What is it? What do they call that? Spitting lines?
Dropping bars?
Dropping bars?
Spitting some bars?
Yeah.
Damn, bro, you got some bars. This one right here. Yeah, so today is another episode of Equilibrium Effect, and
Eep.
you got old Josh here and old me Dan.
Hello.
And what are we talking about today? Do you remember?
Scenarios.
Ooh, perception versus reality.
Yeah.
This is a big
female
one.
and male take on certain things.
Yeah, perception versus reality. That's I don't know.
So you sent me these notes, and I'll be honest, I haven't really
That's okay.
looked over. So it's gonna
That's
be
okay.
very.
It's raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna raw it up on this one because let's see here. Yeah, it's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be. I want that purity of the perspective. You know what I mean?
Agreed. Yeah.
And I want the reality of it, not the perception. You know?
Yeah, we didn't get to think about it beforehand.
Well, so that's the thing. Like, I have really thought about this a lot, but when it comes to like work and living life and the perception, versus reality, when it comes to like meeting people and maintaining relationships and things like that. But I've never really dug too deep into it as far as relationships are concerned, or as far as like dating, or the man versus the woman's view on each of those, that kind of thing. So
and lucky for me, I'm in the middle of all of that.
That's right. That's right. You smack dab in the middle of it. I love it. Give me a second. I'm wearing this today. I'm wearing my You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. How's your chair got pushed back so far?
I don't know. Like in one of the clips, you see me moving it forward because it's like it was super far back.
I think
around the mic.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so
let's do this.
Compliment code. Let's talk about the compliment code. It says we're gonna do scenario based.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do the debate. Right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about each one of those individually.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is the compliment code. The scenario is a man compliments a woman at the gym. Mm-hmm. She thinks he's hitting on her. And he was actually generally impressed by her physical form.
Yeah.
In working out. So that's the scenario.
Okay.
Has that ever happened to you? You ever go to the gym?
Yeah, I have gone to the gym, but
I have to say this when I talk to someone.
I put headphones in, and I think that's an automatic, like, people
leave you alone.
Well,
it doesn't work like that because I've approached women in the gym with their headphones on, and I'll tell them to remove their headphones.
Yeah, but
because I want to give them a compliment.
You are Joshua.
Yeah, but I also have to say. I have to actually say to them that I have no intentions on hitting on them. I'm not trying to smash.
You're just trying to be like a genuine
I just want to let them know, they're doing very well. Like, and I don't say it to just women. I say it to dudes, or if I think, like I've seen them with a shirt on.
Yeah.
like, because a lot of them, sometimes they'll wear shirts and it triggers something that I want to discuss with them.
Yeah.
Like they'll wear a shirt of like the school that my kids go to, or they'll wear a shirt that, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
because that's happened recently.
Yeah.
They were wearing a shirt, and what was it? It wasn't about the school. It was about something specific, but it was a local shirt. And I was like, hey, you know, so-and-so. And oh, that's what it was. It was the owner of Lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, crap, you know Lifestyle? And they were like, yeah. I was like, and then but it was a girl, and
Right.
she was lovely looking. You know what I mean? She was
Yeah.
aesthetically pleasing. And
Aesthetically pleasing.
And, but I had to make it, sure, like, hey, just so you know.
Right. Well,
you know what I mean? Like, I ain't
think,
trying to, like, get crazy.
unfortunately, the world that we live in, I feel like you have, like, two different types of people. You have the ones that, like, you're saying, you're giving a compliment just to be, like, a nice person. And you and I have had this conversation before. Like, just saying something nice to somebody just to improve their day.
Oh, yeah.
Not because we're trying to hook up with them or anything. Just literally
Right.
being a nice person. But then there are that other half of the population that is literally their motive. And
That's right.
that's why they give what
Well,
they give.
so then you got the perception.
And I think that's all dependent on your experiences. It's hard. Like, everybody's going to have a different perception just based on what they've experienced before. I wouldn't automatically.
But can you use that against a man trying to be masculine or hitting on somebody because the perception is they're going to automatically want to get into their pants at the gym? You know what I mean? And the perception is because based on their past. I think the reality is you gotta allow the reality first, maybe, and then kind of implement your own deduction skills to get to the perception of it.
I mean, I
don't
agree
know.
with you. I don't know. I
It's
think
hard.
it's hard.
It is very hard.
It's hard to say because I'm trying to imagine, like, if a guy came up to me at the gym and, like, complimented me, I'd probably, I'd take my headphone out. I would say thank you.
What?
Yeah, that's probably what I'd do. And I'd be like,
what?
huh? I'd take my headphone out. I'd, receive the compliment. I would thank them. And then I'd probably just go back to working out. Like, regardless if I even felt like the person was attractive or not. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's the scenario. And it says the debate. How gender shapes the way compliments are perceived and misinterpreted.
Okay, so what if, like, the lady from Lifestyle came up to you and complimented you? I mean, what is your take on that?
I'd be like, please, thirsty lady, get away from me.
Please, thirsty lady.
I'm just kidding.
I have champagne. You look thirsty.
I'm totally kidding. I would see. I'm kind of naive when it comes to that stuff most of the time.
I think that's
I get
me
in trouble
too.
a lot.
That's why I don't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't even automatically be like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah,
like, it's just not natural for me to be that way.
Yeah. I'm definitely naive when it comes to that stuff. So it would definitely be one of those. Yeah, I would literally thumbs up and just be like, you too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I would do.
Yeah. So I'm taking.
Joshua, you can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Can you?
Yeah, I can still hear your voice right here.
But can you hear me now?
No, I can't hear you. Stop it. That's not how we're talking.
I almost have a clip from every episode where I'm whispering to you, and you're always going, "Stop." We need to have a whole thing. Sorry.
A whole little skit.
Yeah,
of
me whispering to you.
whispering irritation into
telling
Josh's ears.
and you're telling me to stop.
So a man compliments a woman, and I've seen that also too, where I've said something to a woman that like just about their hair. I was at a Taco Bell one time and I said something nice about a lady's hair, and I swear she thought I was probably like gonna wait for her afterwards, like the way she acted, like I was. And I was just like, man,
and again,
like,
I
don't
just
want to
think that
compliment
depends
anybody
on,
anymore.
like, imagine,
assume,
like, if she's at Taco Bell and she's in the drive-thru, how many people probably say stuff to her that it's just kind of like an automatic thing then for her to.
You would think so, but it almost seemed like she never got that compliment.
And that, I mean, it could be that extreme, just either getting it too much or not enough. I don't know. I think it's weird.
She was a Nubian queen, and she had really nice dread. Like her hair was done really nice,
Yeah.
And they were long, and it looked like she did really good. The intricacies of how it all went, and I complimented that, but it seemed a little off, for the usually. Oh, thank you so much, white boy. You know what I mean? Like,
Thank you so much, white boy.
but it was literally like, yeah, thanks. Like, holy cow, this guy's gonna. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on how the compliment is given.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But in a gym, 99% of the time. It sucks because it's self-induced. Like dudes do it to themselves. They create this.
There's hair in my face, and it's really it's on my nose. I'm trying. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and the dudes just we'll wait.
No, I'm good. I'm good. There's nothing in my face now.
We interrupt this. What is it they say?
We interrupt this episode.
We interrupt this broadcast.
Yeah, for an important message. Megan has hair in her face. You think men bring it on themselves?
I think they do. I think
How?
they do a lot because there's a lot of men out there that like try to play.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. But I think women...
And they ruin it.
Yeah. No, I think that's what I mean. Like, you have the two different types of people. So there's those of us that are trying to be genuine, just nice people. And then there are the other ones that are literal creeps that will wait for you afterwards.
If you're a dude out there being a creep, man.
And that goes for ladies, too, because I've seen some pretty, like...
thirsty-ass
crazy women.
So have I. So have I. I've seen some people, like, clearly make up stuff in their head under the impression that...
Because of one hello?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, dude, I had this one lady. I was at a bar. I made friends with her.
Yeah.
But with other friends.
Right.
Like, we were all together. Mm-hmm. And then I saw her on People You May Know on the Book of Faces.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she was really cool because we were talking about politics, but we were all having fun. But we all had a bunch of mutual friends, so I hit add. She added.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, and then I messed with her about politics. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, I know you're blue, but we're going out to hang out, at an event that was going to be political.
Oh, no.
But she's not blue, but she goes, excuse me, you should not be in my DMs like this. Don't you have wife and kids? And I was like, whoa.
What?
And I had to show Larissa the message, like, hey, just so you know, this lady immediately thought I was trying to be crazy. So her perception was I'm trying to smash.
And I think her reality, though, is also that she is not the type of woman that wants anything to do with situations like that. Like, if she were in a relationship, you can bet she's checking her man's DMs.
Yeah,
and
really?
She wouldn't want women in there. Yeah, if she's acting like that towards you, then she's definitely the type that's going to have a big issue with her own significant other doing that.
Well, clearly
and I think that's a lot
issues.
of insecurity, though. Like, a lot of insecurity.
Now, I do know she was single, and I do know, she's single. She was a single mom. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen her. I've seen her twice since that time at a couple events, but like
Does she
obviously,
watch this?
I hope so.
Oh God.
I hope so. If she is, she needs to chill the hell out.
And I'll talk to her.
I wish I could have told her, like, yo, throttle back. You are not that. You know what I mean?
I think.
And she wasn't the greatest. She's pretty.
I think you can have a conversation like that, but not reactive, like in emotional intelligence. But respond. And I mean, there are some. I prefer a relationship
I think her
that is
attitude
open.
made her so ugly. And if anybody was like, dude, do you know any single girls? I'd be like, not that one.
You'd be like, no, she's very possessive or
Exactly.
very weird about
I wouldn't
stuff.
have helped her out in a second. You know what I mean? Based on just the initial reaction she had with me, and all I was trying to do was make friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, ugh, it's irritating. But yeah, so I think you compliment women in gyms, compliment men in gyms, but you know what I mean? Don't automatically assume.
I mean, make
that
sure
they're
your
trying.
compliment
But then,
is a
tactful.
right.
Be tactful about it.
Yeah,
be respectful. Don't be that sleazy ass dude, because you're just going to ruin it for the guy who wants to be tactful and actually might have some kind of way to or want to have that gumption, that ability to be able to, because it's not easy to approach a woman in a gym.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. I
it's
agree.
not, or anywhere these days.
Really?
It's easy to approach. For me, it is.
I was about to say, for you, I feel like you don't.
That the way my body, the way I am.
Just
the way I am.
Your personality is it's very easy for you.
But it is got to be hard for the generation today, and the men today, that you can't be masculine, and you can't just like go into right up to a woman and say,
I
"You're
just don't
beautiful,
understand
let's go
women who
hang
don't
out."
want that though. Like
Man, because they immediately shut down the man.
Yeah.
Like, ew, you're talking to me? You never know anything.
I know, and then they're like, I don't have a boyfriend. Why don't I have a boyfriend?
Man, double standard like crazy, you do.
Because you shut them all down.
Like, yes. Ugh. Anyways, it says provider pressure, emotional labor.
Okay.
Provider pressure versus emotional labor. Scenario.
Okay.
He thinks he's paying the bills. He thinks paying the bills is how he shows love. She thinks he's emotionally unavailable.
So I can definitely, I mean, I think this
Wow,
comes
that's a big
down
one.
to
Perception
your
versus
love
reality.
languages.
Yeah.
For him, he likes to give either gifting or service, essentially. Like to him, that's him showing love, even though that's not how she's receiving it.
Sure.
And for her, she's like, no, I need that quality time, that
Yeah.
words of affirmation. And so you're coming to a clash.
Yeah.
But I think that's why people have to really pay attention to, yes, we all have our own that we like to receive, but we also have to understand how our partner wants to receive as well, which means
Sure.
we have to give differently.
Well, I tell you right now, like that's a big one for me because, like, I was grown to a place for security and safety, and the role and responsibility of a man is to take care of their family.
I grew up exactly the same way.
Right, and so, paying the bills to me is it's a huge because I don't need to have. I could have the option to where I don't have someone, but I want that, and that's part of my responsibility is to want to be the bread maker and want to be able to support financially my family.
Right.
And so, but I think I need to have that emotional availability also, but I feel like sometimes it's just like, man, don't mess with me, like I pay the bills type thing.
And I
don't want to use that as leverage, but what do you think?
So I understand because it's very hard to be the breadwinner of your home and come home on the hard days and still have the bandwidth for that emotional piece.
Do you think the weight of responsibility
is so high sometimes?
It's felt the same on both sides. The weight of responsibility is felt the way on both sides.
Yes, but it looks very different.
So you're playing the weight on you don't have a balance right now, right?
No, not really.
You know what I mean? Not really. You're
That's
doing
hard,
it. You're trying to do it
yourself. That's what's hard about dating for me.
That's right.
Because I work so much that sometimes I'll shut down, not purposefully, but just because my bandwidth is just done. Like I don't have anything.
Yeah.
And as a woman, I should, but I just don't have anything to give.
Okay, so then.
But for like you and Larissa.
Yeah.
I was a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah.
so I do know what that looks like with the breadwinner being my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, to me, it's just, each one is just as difficult as the other. I'm going to say right now that being a stay-at-home mom was more difficult than me working right now as a female.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that was way more work.
Was it?
Taking care of my home, making sure my husband was happy, making sure my kids were taken care of. Like, it's just that is a way more selfless job to me than, like, me going to work and just taking care of my kids right now.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I
think it just, you have to have a lot of grace with each other.
Yes.
Because it's two different things, and...
It is. And one's doing one the most, and the other one's doing the other the most.
But
until you switch roles completely...
You're not going to know.
You won't know. Yeah,
and
exactly.
I just feel like maybe...
There's a role swapping for like a month. I couldn't do it.
Can you imagine staying home for a month? You'd go crazy.
I couldn't do it.
You would go crazy.
I could not do it. I can already tell you, like, my appreciation now these days was way more than what it was when I first got married.
And that's normal,
when I first
though.
had
Like,
kids.
when you hear about people who have been married for 10 plus years, that's exactly what both of them typically say about each other.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the weight. When I first got married and we first had kids, the weight to me was not distributed equally.
Right.
Because I went from paying for myself, doing whatever I wanted to do.
Can I stop us for a minute? My lipstick's peeling.
Okay. I mean, when I was younger in the relationship or in my marriage, I didn't appreciate that weight. You know what I mean? I didn't appreciate the balanced portion of the weight. I just assumed that. And I was very by myself.
So when you guys got together, you hadn't had children at all yet, right?
No. I'd never been married, never had
so
children.
You got married. How long before you had kids?
Almost 2 years. It was
Did
like a year
she
and a half.
work during that, or did she stay home even then?
No, so we weren't even living in the same area. We met in Italy, and then I moved to Bahrain, the Middle East.
Oh.
And then she was living in where she's from, where she was born, and she didn't come down to Bahrain until I got sponsorship to the military, which took a long time.
Okay.
And then when she came...
But you guys were already married.
Yes. Wow. And then when she came, we had our first kid in Bahrain, but it was it was a while before before he popped out.
But you guys were living more independently during that time then?
Oh, we were living pretty much independently until...
So she was working, though,
Yeah,
during all of
she
that.
owned her
So
own
it
company
wasn't
and-
until that
Yeah.
you guys had kids that she started to stay home and you were
Yes.
the breadwinner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but then what happened was, I mean, it was like a whole bunch at once.
Okay.
And so there was that, it was hard, very hard.
Yeah.
Literally learning about each other, but raising a kid at the same time on a single income.
This is
On,
hard.
you know what I mean? Like I'm telling you,
You
there
add
was
all these
everything that
different
was playing.
stresses in.
That's right. Everything that was playing against us played
Yeah.
against us. Plus the moving, plus leaving her country, plus
Yeah.
leaving my country. Like it was just insane.
Why not throwing a baby?
Oh my gosh, we just went all in, and we have attacked every single obstacle that you could freaking imagine.
I think that's good, though, in a marriage. I really do.
Other than me doing something with a dude and her catching it, that's like literally.
Oh, I was
the
about
only
to say,
thing
oh, you did that
hasn't
too?
happened. No, that's what I'm saying. Like that is
Yeah.
like literally probably the only thing that didn't happen. But anyways, so I felt the responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't reciprocated. It wasn't balanced.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized like holy crap, it really was balanced because she was that stay-at-home mom job ain't no joke. You know
It's
what I
not, especially not with a new baby. That is rough.
mean? Woo, couldn't. So let's move on to the next one. Social media mirage.
Ooh.
Here's a social media mirage.
Yep.
Here we go.
I like
Scenario.
this one a lot.
She thinks he's emotionally cheating by liking bikini pics. He thinks it's not a big deal, just pixels.
So, I have a couple of different opinions on this, on both sides. And it's not going to just be with social media. I'm going to bring pornography into it too. Because in one side, there are a lot of people that get very offended by that.
Porn?
Uh-huh. And pictures like that, et cetera, right?
Pixels.
Pixels.
Yeah.
I
Digital world of sex.
mean, I don't know. It just depends. I personally think it's kind of disrespectful if you're on there
Really?
liking
What
a
if
bunch
it's
of
like
it.
anime? What if it's like Japanimation or what's that called? Hentai.
So I had a
It was
guy
a
I dated.
cartoon.
I had a guy I dated
Mm-hmm.
who looked up at a TV one day and he's like, and it was a commercial, this lady on a commercial, right? No idea who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'd leave you for her. And he said that to me and I was like, what? I didn't know what to say.
A
And he's
hentai? Like commercial?
No.
Wait, it
It's
was a
just a
cartoon?
regular, no,
Oh,
just
it's
a
just a
regular
regular girl
commercial.
that
And
was
I
on
was
there.
like, okay. Like, literally, I couldn't process. And I was like, okay. And then I looked at him and I was like, you have no idea who she is, right?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't know
She
who.
might have a
I
penis.
pulled up my Facebook.
You
And
never
how
know.
many friends do I have on there?
Right.
A few.
Yeah.
I don't know these men. And I found one that I thought was attractive, and I was like, I would leave you for him. It's the same damn thing.
You're right, it
so
is.
for me, I'm like, if
Like
you are,
touche. Was he upset? I bet that started a fight.
he then got the point.
Yeah.
And
He
of
was
how
like,
easily I can
I
walk away.
messed up, yeah.
Like, but
Well, and
so-
then you did.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not
that
with
was,
him.
That was
right?
a sign.
Yeah.
One of the
Here's your-
first.
Here's your sign. Who used to say that? It was a comedian. White, I think.
Yeah.
Here's your
Yeah,
sign.
Ron White.
Yep,
Is that his name?
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out
So-
to Ron White.
I do think this is very similar to that. So yeah, is it just a picture? Sure. And do you know her? Probably not. But to me, it is semi-disrespectful. Just as him telling me, pointing to the TV at this commercial girl, it's still disrespectful. Like if you want to, you're going to emotionally damage your relationship. doing that.
Emotional damage.
You are. And there are women that are, and like, if some guy's doing it, for the most part, I'm not going to say anything. I'm like, okay.
I saw on a clip just not too long ago. Matter of fact, I think it was this morning. No joke.
Oh,
I think it was this morning.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
And it was a guy, and he said the difference between a man and woman, and the girl's like, oh my God, he is so hot. Oh, he's so beautiful. I would marry him. I would this and that. And when the woman saw the guy on the movie, but then when the guy's like, man, she's pretty cute. Like she's got this girl next door, vibe to her or whatever, and she's like mad at him, you know what I mean? Because she had said that. So, I'm pretty sure it depends on your relationship.
I think it does. I think it depends on your own personality. Like, I'm not one that goes around saying a man's hot. Like, I just don't do that. Not really my thing.
Really?
Like, I went on the radio with Kevin McKay, and he's like, who do you think's the hottest celebrity? I had nobody. I was like, because I don't.
You mean hottest male celebrity?
Yeah. Like
You don't have anybody?
I don't know.
Right now.
I don't know them. Like, for me, I don't know them. So, I mean, you can be physically attractive all you want, but for me, that just doesn't do anything.
Mine's Superman. What's his name?
Henry Cavill.
Oof.
Yeah, his face is too pretty.
Bruh, that dude is hot, bro. That if I had a man crush,
from the neck down,
Henry would be. What? No. And the neck up.
I don't like his face.
No, he's got a pretty ass chiseled face, man.
No.
You know, he really does. Like.
Yeah, I think it's pretty.
So you want some messed up, like, blah face.
No, I don't know. I just don't like that one.
Be careful with that. You'd be like, oh, God, you look old. Like, as you get up to past the neck.
Listen, I'm just not, I don't know. I'm a weirdo.
Jugular below. No, see, he's a good looking dude. Like, if I had a dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Henry is my dude. You know what I mean? Like, that is a good looking dude.
I think Jake Gyllenhaal's cute.
And he's Jake who?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, but that dude's a whack job, ain't he?
I've heard that.
Yeah, he's a whack job. See, but Henry's like a really genuinely good dude. You know what I mean? Jake, I heard he's like whack. I don't know him personally.
No, I've heard that
I've heard
too.
some
I have too.
Which sucks, you know. Anyways, we're getting off topic.
We are.
Holy cow.
Anyways.
So it says harmless scrolling or, emotional betrayal. So, Larissa caught me the other day. I was scrolling. She didn't catch me. She saw my phone, and I was scrolling, and I've got a lot of...
You have females.
I got a lot of females on there. And so, and they're wonderful people.
It just depends how you're interacting with... And then they like to show...
And then Larissa says, I saw you, but I don't like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I do, like if they're with their family or whatever, I'll be like, oh, man, that's a pretty picture. Boom,
so
I like it.
So you already understand.
But in the bikini, if I had some chick showing me her hoo-ha in a bikini on Facebook, and I'm liking and loving that stuff, like I know in my head Larissa's gonna be upset about that. So
but you also have to and I don't think a lot of people understand this.
Even though I think
even men.
Yeah.
That I say that we as women, people pay attention to what you're doing on social media. So something I always look for is when I am looking to date somebody, I look at who they're following. And I do that because I want to know in your spare time what you're interested in. If it is full of literally just half-naked women, that's telling me your bandwidth and your mind is little. Like,
yeah.
We're not going to be able to have much conversation about anything.
Right. It's more of a shallow...
And I'm not interested in that. And I don't care that you're liking other women. It just shows me that in your spare time, this is what you prefer to do. In my spare time, I'm doing all sorts of things. So it shows me that we probably aren't going to connect on a certain level that I want in a person.
Intellectual, emotional, and what's that? What were we just talking about the other day?
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Like I want to see a man who is like actively following people who are doing things in the world.
Yeah,
like,
business.
Yeah, like I want to see that.
Philanthropists.
Yes.
Things like
that to show that they have that emotional intelligence or growth, and in their spare time, this is what they're doing.
Larissa knows my top 5.
Really?
She does.
That's cool.
But the actresses. So I have a top 5 list. Now, it changes often, yeah. I have a top 5 list. Like, for a long time, I had, like, Denise Richards on there. And
I don't know who that is. Denise Richards, who's that?
She used to be married to Charlie Sheen.
Oh,
Denise
yeah,
Richards.
I know who she is.
Yeah. So, like, mine changes throughout the years.
As they get older and start getting
course.
too much plastic surgery and don't look like themselves anymore.
Yes. Decades. Yeah. I think there's only one that's, like, stayed on my top 5 for a long time, and that's Olivia Wilde.
Oh, she's beautiful, though.
Man, is she.
Do you know who I think is super attractive, and I don't feel
Margot
like she's...
Robbie.
Actually, she was
Margot
one of the
Robbie's
ones that came
on
to my mind.
Top 5.
Gal Gadot, to me, is just gorgeous.
Who's Gal Gadot?
Wonder Woman.
Oh, she is pretty.
I think she is just
She's not in my top 5, but she's pretty.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, I think she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's... But see, I have some weird ones on my top 5, too.
Tell me the weird
people
ones.
Wouldn't like, oh my gosh, what is her name? The one who's from, she plays in Zombieland. She plays in, she's the lady from 101 Dalmatians.
Emma Stone?
Yes.
Oh, I love Emma Stone. I
Yes,
think
but-
that's a good one. I don't think that's weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone, when I say Emma Stone's in my top 5, everybody's like, wait, what?
But think about her personality, how funny
And that's
she
why.
is, how
That's
witty
why.
she is. See, and
Jennifer
that's,
Lawrence?
Yes, I think
She's in my top
To me,
5.
that's more attractive than just somebody
Yes.
who is
Yeah,
physically
right,
attractive,
right,
and that's
right.
why people are like,
Margot
oh, just...
Robbie is freaking physically attractive like crazy, but she's also freaking cool.
No, I agree.
as hell.
She's like all of...
From what I've seen, obviously.
D, all of the above.
Yes. Well done, Margot. And she's Australian.
She is. I keep forgetting
Yeah,
that.
she's Australian,
she does
so
a really
she
good
has.
job.
She's from down under.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're right.
But good for her, right? So, anyways, so I have a top 5, so Larissa knows about my top 5, right? And so it's kind of like when we see it, but I would expect when I see a dude, and she's like, man, that guy is good looking. Like she watched a movie the other day and said there was a dude that was good looking. I was like, you're not wrong.
You're like,
He's actually a good looking dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he really is.
Well, see, that's what I mean, though. But you guys have that relationship that it's mutually
Sometimes,
respectful. Well,
Yeah, sometimes.
In most relationships, it's
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes
so
we do.
this one's hard. Like
It is.
it depends.
You got to be.
It just depends where y'all are at.
You got to be.
I don't feel like that's emotional cheating
But
just
you
because
think
he's
porn?
white. No, there are people who do though.
But say you're with
Like-
some guy, and you're dating a guy, and then he he's like,
Listen,
hey,
so my take
you
on
catch him. How about that? You catch him doing his thing personally.
So it just depends on the relationship. One, why didn't you come to me first? But if for some reason we were
Do you know why? Why we don't go to you first? Do you want to hear it from my point of view?
I've heard it a couple times, but I'll
Well,
hear
no,
this
I want
one.
to hear what you've heard actually.
Mainly just because it felt like either like the constant like I don't have time for this or no, but that doesn't mean like every time was going to be that way. But so the issue that past partner and I have had was ex-husband. He did those contracts overseas, right? So when he got back, that's all he wanted to do because we've been gone 330 days, right?
3 kids, yeah, later.
But yeah, that too. We had 3 kids.
No worries.
But at the same time, he's been gone 330 days. The Wi-Fi was spotty. We were emailing like 90% of the time. Like that emotional connection for me was not there either. So I needed him to build that while all he wanted to do was just go.
Right.
But there was, I just
I
wasn't
see.
feeling the connection there to the point where he's like, well, I'm tired of having
That's
to
a whole nother episode.
He didn't want to take the
Yeah.
time to do that because we were limited on time.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
a whole-
see, that's what I mean.
We're gonna have to
like-
do an episode on that one, because I'm gonna tell you right now, like I've done many long stints without
Right, exactly.
women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From
but
my
I
Afghanistan days
understand,
to my deployments.
but it has
all
to
that
be understanding on both sides, and I feel like
No, I
for-
know, but let's go back to the original question. What
Why?
if you caught a guy, and what was the reason as to why they did it?
I mean, the reasoning I don't know. You'd have
With
to throw
porn.
something at me.
Well, my reasoning, can
Yeah,
I tell
go.
you my reasoning?
Yeah.
As a man,
Yeah.
is because our job primitively is to spread our seed.
Yeah.
And so naturally, hormonally, we want to just go.
All the time.
And there's times where it's detrimental if I say, hey, I'm feeling, let's go. And she's like, no, I got a headache. Or, no, I'm not in the mood. Or we just don't have time.
So that's what I mean is
I'm going to watch. But I
Right.
can't do it anymore like I was a teenager. I got to use
Yeah.
something. And so when I use something, 99% of the time, and if I'm watching that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
or if I'm doing anything like that, we went really X-rated on this episode.
we haven't said anything bad
You're right.
yet. There's
You're
nothing
right.
bad.
But to the Christian
There's-
ear, they're
That's
not
okay.
going to.
No, they talk about porn.
Porn?
Nope, they talk about porn in church, and that's the other side I was going to talk about was
Oh, okay.
too. So no,
Well, we'll do that
This is
later.
a very normal thing.
So then, I think then it's safe to say, I don't know what it is, but I love women, and they're so pleasing.
think that's
so like I'm
weird,
all
though
about the
you're a
woman on
man.
woman thing,
Yeah.
And so that makes it a little bit easier, I think.
Yeah.
But it's got to happen, and my imagination is not as good as it was when I was 14, 15 years
So-
old.
No,
So
I
I
get
need some
that.
help. You know what I mean?
No, I get that.
On visual effects.
And I feel like, for me personally, it doesn't really bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as long as we're on the same page.
There you
like,
go.
if I'm not getting any,
There you go.
but you're still doing that, then that's a problem.
Yes. Okay. So
But
that, yeah.
if it's literally because our schedules never meet, we're
Right.
so freaking busy, can't help you out.
Your distance.
Like if there's a bunch of other things that are hindering our ability to be physically intimate, then that makes sense to me. And it's hard for me to be upset about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say
so.
as from a man, it's very. It like I said, I feel it's more on a primitive level. It's in our genes to just release, and so I would expect a woman to prefer me doing that by myself versus going out and finding an ultimatum or an alternative.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But liking the posts and bikini pics, like
the only thing I say is just understand that other people pay attention to that. So like I dated somebody who was doing that a lot. And my friends were seeing it, and they literally would comment that to me and be like,
"Did you know your boy was?"
No, and they were like, "But are you okay with that?" Like, and I don't want anybody to ever look at me like, "Wow, like she's with this dude that does what? Like she could do better." And that's literally what it ended up being was that they were like,
really?
Why do you want somebody like that when you can have somebody who doesn't?
That's true.
And so I was like, oh.
I think it's.
I did not like how it
tactfully.
made me look. How it made me look. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
That you taking that personal. You know what I mean? Like he's like another.
Well, see, I didn't care from my aspect. I didn't like how it made my image look
from
people
other people's
looked at me.
Yeah.
People were looking at me with pity.
But you could have flipped that and been like, she does look hot in that bikini.
That's just not my thing, though.
That's not yours.
Like, it's just not,
I guess it is relative.
Like,
it is so relative.
I don't care about any of the physical aspect of stuff. So I think if I had said that, people would even be like, oh, that's not very Megan.
Not very Megan of you.
Megan doesn't follow anything that,
yeah.
if that makes sense. I don't know how to say it.
I think those rules need to be laid out pretty quickly, though, these days. Not rules, more like guidelines. So, like, for example, at the beginning of the thing, like... Mm-hmm. You want to know them, and you want to know the real them, so you don't want to find that kind of stuff out later.
No, because it does make it a lot harder.
Yeah, you just open up and just be like, hey, like honestly, I think these days you got to be like, hey, like I like a lot of these. Like I'll like every picture in the next, just to get some metrics going on thing,
well, the
and
more
not even know what I'm liking.
The better.
Yes,
your algorithm is. So, and the more other people interact with you. So
that's right. So
there's so many factors with freaking social media.
Social media is detrimental. But anyway, so number 4, he's quiet. He must be mad. Scenario: he's overthinking because he's silent. In reality, he's just decompressing from work.
So can I go ahead and just speak on this?
Absolutely.
I don't like that they made this about him. Because this is how I am.
So let's do it about him first, and then let's do it about her.
Okay, well...
No, go ahead.
Well, that's
Tell me, speak on it.
Like,
yes.
To a T, like after work.
Yeah.
I typically, when I get home, as long as I'm not super late, I tell my kids, give me 30 minutes. I need 30 minutes of just silence. I'll go in my room.
Decompression.
I'll sit in my bed. Sometimes I'll put my headphones in. I might read.
Right.
But I give me 30 minutes. And then after that, I make dinner and we go on with our night, right?
Yep.
But same. Like, I'm quiet after work sometimes. And sometimes it's all night. It just depends what has gone throughout the day. It's not because I'm upset about I'm not afraid to say what when I'm upset. But
that's a good thing. Some people are. A lot of people are.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And
they hold it
they
in.
would save so much time if they just
let it out for
even if it's ridiculous, at least get it out
do it tactfully.
to walk through it. And be like, okay, so that was ridiculous, but at least I've walked through it and now we're good. So yeah. Okay.
So you need the silence. So that doesn't mean you're just decompressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think more people need to do that after work, and they'd probably be.
You're right.
Less
it is
mad.
weird that they just made it about men, but this is.
Yeah. But that is more of a man thing, I think, than it is for women.
I'm not. I'm different. I don't come home from busting my balls at work and then.
And
then get home.
Enjoy your.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't
talk.
enjoy my work. I'm an introvert, so for me, peopling all day is very hard for me. So I need silence when I come home, just for.
Now, if I have a bad day and that silence, or I don't get to silence, the talking turns into like complaining about something, then that goes into automatic. Like, okay, now we're going to have problems. And then I'll go silent because I just don't want to hear it, or I don't want to talk about anything or whatever.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm upset, or overthinking anything.
Do you think a lot of people nowadays don't like to sit in silence? Like, it's uncomfortable
Yeah,
for a lot of people?
These days, yeah.
Like, back in the day, people used to sit on the porches of their homes and literally not
Oh,
say a
these
word
days
to
they
each other.
don't. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
These days
they just
it's
don't like
uncomfortable.
silence.
That's
Like,
right.
something I look for in somebody I date is somebody I can literally sit next to, and I don't have to perform,
Yeah.
essentially, is I want to be able to sit there and not say anything.
It's super cool.
And
My
don't
mom,
be offended by it.
Yeah, my mom and Larissa came back from going to the store, and it was me, my uncle, and my dad, and we're sitting in the barn, the shop, and they get back, and they were gone for a while, and we were just sitting there the whole time.
In silence.
Half of it was pure silence.
That's awesome.
And it was we were just sitting there, drinking our beer, not saying a word.
See,
just
people
sitting
don't know
there.
how to do that anymore, though. I think
And
that's
then
why they brought that
something
up.
would get brought up. We talk about it for 10, 15
Yep.
minutes, and then we'd just be
Yeah.
silent again. But then Larissa is asking me, like, what were you guys talking about the whole time?
Yeah, you're out there for
And I'd be
so
like,
long.
honestly, we weren't talking about much.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's just the way it is. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
When she says nothing's wrong.
This is a good one.
When she says nothing's wrong. It's a trap. That's the biggest one right there. It's a trap. Hey, what's wrong? Nothing. Oh, I guess it's the tone of the nothing
So
as
for
well.
me, I don't say it's nothing. I'm a processor, so if I'm upset about something, I know automatically in that moment I'm going to be very emotional. So I'm not going to say anything.
She's like, hey, what's wrong?
No, no,
Okay.
no, I don't cry. I'm mean.
I'm just to the listeners and people like me that don't even
Yeah.
know you.
You know, I'll say something that
What
I
do you mean
shouldn't.
emotional? Oh, I see. So
And
you
so
react.
I'll be very reactive.
Instead
So
of-
now that I'm older, I understand that I need to process that. I need to work through that emotion before I respond, so that I need clarity before I start responding. So, but I'm not going to sit there and be like, I'm fine.
He says the scenario is
I'm
like,
fine.
hey, what's wrong? I'm fine. Okay, cool.
I mean,
and
I've
then
done
she
that in the
boils
past.
inside.
Yeah, I've done that in the past. So
yeah,
I can.
that's the scenario.
But
He's
nowadays,
like, all right, cool.
I will be like, listen, I'll be like, I'm not okay right now.
Yeah.
It's like, but I don't want to say anything that I don't mean. So give me,
Oh, wow.
like,
okay.
I will come to you when I am ready.
So, I
And-
mean,
but
yeah.
see, I can literally put that in its own little drawer in my head. I can go to work the next day, be fine, take it out of the drawer that night, and be like, okay, I'm ready to talk. Like, and that's probably a weird thing about me, though, as a female. But I feel like it's a good thing, though, because these issues do not cause conflict in the rest of I don't let them interfere in what I'm
Sure.
doing. Not with my kids, not with my work.
I think I still do it. Like, I'll ask Larissa, hey, what's wrong? Nothing. Oh, okay, cool.
And you know something's wrong.
I know something's wrong, but most
You
of the time
do.
it's like, oh, I know something's wrong, but I don't want to get in it. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, okay, all right, cool. I'm going to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? But I
When you're
should
ready
be
to
a little
talk,
bit
let
more.
me know.
Yeah, but I should be more like, hey, what's wrong? Nothing? Okay, come on now. You know what I mean? And I do that most
And
of the
you
time.
do,
Like,
and you
don't
have
play
to
with me.
approach
Like, I know
it
there's something wrong.
kindly.
Yes, but that's hard to do too, because there's always something wrong, I feel like. Not with Larissa, but I'm
Well,
saying with
whenever
women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
We're-
feel like that.
We're at 25 minutes and well, so that's what I was gonna say. So like there's times where I get to that point where even if I know there's something wrong, I kind of deviate away from
Well, sometimes
having to deal with it because I don't want to deal with it. I guess. But,
exhausting after a while, where you're like, man, I'm tired of having to pull this stuff out of you. Why can't you just tell me what is going? Like, why can't we just get this done?
But it sucks because 99% of the time, almost. I can't even think of a time not when I have a problem and it's clear.
Yeah.
And it's reversed and like no, it's fine, it's whatever. She's more open to listening to what's really wrong with me. You know what I mean? Versus the other way around, where
I think
you're
that's
fine.
A
So you're
feminine
taking that
trait,
face
though,
value.
So
So it says men take words at face value often. Do they? Do they take it to face value? Of course they do. We're obviously simple. We're too simple.
I
when it
would
comes
say
to that.
some.
It says reading between the lines. That's like the same thing as reading the minds. Reading between the lines, the same thing as reading the minds. Like, I can't read your mind. You got something wrong, you got to be vocal about it.
Yeah.
Open up and
Well, you don't.
say it.
You can't get what you want if you don't say it. Like, for me, I don't like to waste time. So if there's something wrong, like, yeah, I process. But you can bet once I process and I know how to say it in a way that is kind and fruitful, then I'm going to say it.
I think the biggest
and we will
pain,
have a conversation.
Yeah. Well, you will.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. Mm-hmm. But not many women do, and it's a pain. But I think as a woman, bring that femininity out.
I think that just depends, though, on
just open up because
what
it's
she's experienced in the past. Like, if she has somebody who's been super reactive to her, which I have had that, thankfully I've learned how to still communicate through it. But depending on your past, depending on...
And women in general, allow it to happen, because what's going to happen is you're going to let a man... Mm-hmm. You're going to let a man know. Don't hide it. Don't make me read between the lines.
No, and it doesn't matter how stupid it is. Like, that's the thing. Like, it could be something so dumb that you're upset about, but if you both can sit down and just talk about it, at the end of it, you're probably going to be like, oh,
yeah,
I feel dumb.
Yeah.
And then all he needs to be is like, it's not dumb, and then
it's not dumb.
Hug it out and move on.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, moving on.
And don't hold on to it. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Like, you can't continue to hold on to it. If you've had the conversation and it's done, let it go.
I can't read your
mind.
mind.
No grudges.
That's so hard. I think women want men to read their minds more than vice versa.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think. I mean, that could be. I'm just looking at it.
I don't get that though.
Just a conversation.
Because we can't read minds.
I know, but I think
nobody can.
I know, but I think women
I agree,
feel
though.
like we should want to read.
Like, just
we're the worst at it. There's no way in hell. Like, if anybody needs to read anybody's mind, it'd be a girl talking to another girl saying.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, women were more, I feel like, intuitive and can sense emotions and stuff. And I feel like women confuse.
Not us.
Confuse that men don't.
Yeah.
You guys don't generally have that. So to expect that is...
It takes many moons.
It's just not fair.
To phase for me to be able to understand that Larissa was in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Automatically. Many moons of phasing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't happen all right away. Right. And for a long time, it would fight because I feel like
that's normal.
I wouldn't have that automatic mind reading ability.
I think that's expectation too, though. You're not supposed to have expectations going into anything, really.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Success looks different to me. Success looks different to me. Hold on.
Ooh, I like
scenario.
This
Let's
one.
give the scenario.
This is a good one.
She gets promoted and feels empowered. He feels insecure and less masculine. Ooh, it is a good one.
Yeah.
This is the first time I read that one. I must have skipped that one.
Oh, no, I read that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
Have you ever been in a relationship and then get promoted and just like be happy as hell, and then your dude just like...
That's why the last one didn't work.
What
I started
last
my
one?
business, and
the one I know about?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
I had just started my business, and how many phone calls did I get that night when you and I were trying to connect? Literally just trying to figure out some kind of collaboration. Sure. Like, I was on a upward trajectory.
Yeah.
And
that's a good word.
He didn't like that.
Really?
Insecurity came in. A lot of insecurity came in.
Wow.
Because felt his trajectory was staying the same. It was very lateral. There was no
A long time ago, I would probably be irritated. Be like, I am not going to get outdone by me personally.
No, and I don't think that's necessarily
my
a bad
significant other.
Like a bad thing though, because
now I encourage the hell out of it. You know what I mean?
For me personally though, I want somebody who's on a higher path than me. I don't want to feel like the man in the relationship. And so because I am so driven and ambitious, I'm going to need somebody who's even more so.
Sure.
Like, to fit me, though.
But that sucks for us, because then it's like we're doing really good, and then all of a sudden you do freaking better than us. And now we got to work harder to do better?
Yeah, you do.
That is a pain in the ass. How about you just be happy being that solo mom, that single, or not solo mom.
I like that, solo mom.
Yeah. How about you be happy being that mother figure?
But I want more for my kids.
Because
I don't have that other aspect.
But then you got to encourage us to do better.
I do that, though. That is what I do.
That is a good one.
Yeah,
but then you do better than us on the backside, and now we're like, It's a competition after
No,
that.
no, no. It's not a competition.
You don't want it to be a competition.
No.
But
No,
it
no.
ends up being one.
No, it does not.
Or the insecurities kick in, and then it just doesn't work anymore.
No, or we work together.
That's how it should be.
Like,
That's
or you
the
just work
equilibrium
together and
effect.
it's okay.
How about let's balance that
Like,
shit?
yeah, how about we start a business together and then we
That's
work
right.
together? Like,
All right. I think, honestly, that is... The scenario and the debate are amazing, but I believe that we hit the nail on the head on that one, and it's clear as day that, we obviously, it says perception. It says
Yeah.
men and women perceive power, leadership, and household balances differently.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the perception versus reality. But when you're talking about, success looks different to me,
yeah.
from a man's perspective versus a woman's, there has to be that equality. There's
Yeah.
got to be that equilibrium effect.
Yep.
There's got to be that balance to say, okay, please don't go above me, and I won't go above you, but let's both go above.
Yeah, I mean, you
together.
should.
You know
That's
what I mean? Let's
literally
both
what
go
you
above
should be
together,
doing
yeah.
is doing it
It's
together.
a teamwork
yeah.
to get to the tippy
and
top.
it's for the overall
Right.
advantage of the family.
Yep.
Like that's what you're
That's right.
doing.
So dad bod versus post baby bod.
I saw that.
Dad
Okay,
bod
what's our
versus
scenario?
dad bod versus. So it says the scenario: he embraces his dad bod and jokes about it. Ooh, this is a good one. She hides her body postpartum in shame. Well, I say it's a good one. It's not really these days. No, I don't think very many people care about that these days very much anymore, like it used to be.
No, I mean,
Like dad bod, like I got big.
but I think it's you do it
I-
together.
I got big.
Yeah.
I let myself go not too long ago. I want to say a little over a year ago, and I'm talking big, like almost 300 pounds. Like I found a picture. Larissa found a picture and sent it to me the other day of me on the beach 2 years ago, and if I showed the public, it's mind blowing.
Oh, I have those pictures too.
Yeah.
Those don't see the light of day, but
And
I don't
but
think that's fair though, because
but I'd never embraced it. I was actually very shameful.
see,
of
and
it.
that's postpartum. I can speak for myself. Like every time I had a kid, I was over 200 pounds. Like, but afterwards, the minute I got the release from the doctor to start working out and do all the things, I was on it. So
I mean, it's yeah. We'll go on to the next one already
Yeah.
because that's just a natural thing.
I don't feel like
if you're
this is
gonna
as
have,
big of a deal.
yeah, if you're gonna, yeah, it's not. If you're gonna have a wife, or you're gonna have a woman and you're gonna make a baby with that woman, you better
body is
already
going
know
to
by
change.
then.
Like, yeah, her
well, as a
body's gonna
man, you
change.
better already know she's gonna be. You know what I mean? And as a woman, you embrace the piss out of that.
Yeah.
You're a woman doing what
You are literally
women
creating a life
exactly
inside
doing-
of your body.
exactly doing what
Yeah.
women were supposed to do
Yeah.
on a primitive level.
Yes.
All right, don't
Yep.
get all butthurt for the women who don't want to have
Yeah.
kids, but when it comes to our biological breakdown,
Yeah.
women are supposed to reproduce.
Yes.
And so when you do, you own that crap.
Yep.
And enjoy the hell out of it. Because I don't think I've ever had a woman that I've ever met. There's some jacked out women out there. But I don't think I've ever met a woman that was displeased that they had a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Like.
It's
I
disgusting.
mean, I hated
you,
being fat, but other
Yes.
than that, like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not like
yeah, but
upset
own
about
that,
it.
man. That's not fat. Your guys' woo-ha's get freaking
Oh, huge,
crazy big.
massive.
And they produce the
We can literally feed a human with our bodies.
That's
Isn't
what
that
I'm saying.
insane? Yeah.
The like you literally produce
Yeah.
life and
And
the-
maintain it.
Yeah, that's right. And the nutrients of life post
Yeah,
it.
it's so
and
crazy.
Just embrace the hell out of it.
I think a lot of that is immaturity,
Man.
honestly, with that question. A lot of immaturity.
And then some women like get like what are they called?
Mommy
are those called?
makeovers?
No, they're stretch marks.
Yeah.
You know what I call those?
What?
Tiger stripes.
Yeah. Yep.
I think they're beautiful.
So as a single mother,
Yeah.
dated multiple men, gone to the beach with these guys, seen my whole body.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of stretch marks. I do have loose skin though, and not a single. I've never had a complaint ever. So I don't.
That's
I think,
the thing. Like, embrace it. Let's go
Yeah,
to the next subject
agreed.
because that there's
Oh,
it's a
fear
be-
on the first date.
fear on the first date.
He's nervous. She'll reject him.
She's nervous. He might hurt her.
Mm.
Yo, okay. So right here, I think that fear on the first date It's going to happen. It's happened since.
But why be
for a
so
long time.
fearful on the very first one? You barely even know this person.
So I think fear should not be the word.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
Apprehension?
nervous,
Yeah.
but don't be scared.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of like a gun.
Oh.
To me, it's kind of like a gun from a man's point of view.
Okay.
Masculine point of view.
It's
like a pistol. You know what I mean? Like you don't fear it, but understand it and understand that it could kill you.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that was good.
But don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Respect it.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with a relationship. I feel as a man, don't be afraid of it.
No.
But respect the hell out of it. So know that it could be something bad. So don't go into it scared.
Oh, I agree.
But you can go into it and just be like, yeah, this may or may not be the end all be all to any relationship that I've ever had.
Yeah. I think.
But I think I think it's worse for women. If they go in knowing or thinking and being nervous that he's going to hurt her, that's painful. You're putting that stigma on the man already.
I have a very weird philosophy.
Tell me, please, because that's what I need.
So how they say it's better to love than not to be loved at all. Like to be hurt because you loved someone than never to have felt love at all.
Sure.
And that's my philosophy. I'm like, to me, every person that I allow in, I mean, it's automatic. That person, well, one, they are going to hurt you. They will. Because you guys are not going to be perfect. You are going to hurt each other.
Yeah, that's right. Don't ruin the relationship up front knowing that you're going to get hurt because it's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
How about you go into the relationship knowing you're going to have to overcome those hurts?
Right.
And she's not the only one going to get hurt
exactly.
either.
Like, it's on both
too.
sides. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of that is very just immature thinking and not being very emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
I wasn't nervous because of being hurt.
Right.
I don't know. Just nervous in general. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really worry about people hurting me, though.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it, but like think about how many relationships start on a very biased. The perception is they're already going to perceive that person's going to hurt them
because of
the past, right?
Yeah, and that's.
But the reality is you need to start from ground zero.
Yeah, you can't judge any It's how what do they say? Trust is earned, not given, or something.
Right.
And so people, and I don't think that's really fair. I do think it's earned, but at the same time, you don't know this person.
But then you
can't automatically put the judgment on them that you can't trust them.
Right.
So to me, it's a very clean slate, very open.
What's the other one?
I think I know what you're
I'm
talking about.
going to trust you until you give me a reason not to.
Until you prove me otherwise, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna love you until you give me a reason not to.
To me, I feel like you need to go...
That's the best way to approach it. Because,
I
golly, if you
think
go
that's
in,
how
I'm going
you
to hate you until you prove to me.
That's just not going to work.
Yeah, waste your time.
It is a waste of your time. It's a waste of both y'all's time. Like, we don't have time for that.
That's right.
I'm 35.
Man and women, man, get over yourselves. Start from ground zero.
Everybody.
Give everybody the shot that they deserve on both sides.
Unbiased.
Yep. Next, who's really the emotional one?
Men.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry, I gotta say it. I'm not even kidding though. I have come to find out that men perceive us as emotional because we're crying.
We're not even going off the scenario yet.
I know.
I didn't even get to say the scenario. I said, who's emotionally? Men. I didn't even get to say the scenario.
Because y'all are. Y'all are way more emotional.
Are we?
Yeah.
You don't think women are more emotional than men?
Not
what kind of dudes? I mean, we're talking about
world.
Emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. But we handle our emotions differently.
Exactly.
We may be way more emotional,
no, that's what
but
I mean.
we may...
That's what I mean.
Oh,
but I
see.
think y'all are way more emotional than we are.
It says he's calm during a fight and she's crying and frustrated.
Yeah, we're crying because we can't kill you.
I'm not calm.
we're crying because we can't kill you.
That's right. Is that what it is?
It's not because we're sad. It says and frustrated. See? And frustrated.
That's right. And frustrated.
I cry when I'm angry.
Crying because you're frustrated because you can't kill us.
I cry when I'm angry.
Yeah, I can't murder you.
Yeah,
so I'm going to cry instead. You're So lucky I could cry instead of murder you right now.
Man, if only I had a knife.
Yeah, right.
You're lucky we're not in the kitchen.
Yeah. I mean, there's laws out there that says I'm not allowed to murder you. So I'm going to cry instead. I don't think so. So then in that case, men are clearly a lot more calm during a fight because I can promise you I've never thought in my head. I've never been calm.
Being funny. I don't want to murder anybody.
So I wonder if men flipped that and then we were the ones who cried because we couldn't murder the opposite.
I think this is the hardest.
If you ever
laugh
catch a dude crying, it's because they really
want to kill you right now.
So you should probably
They're thinking
leave
about the
when
endangered
the man
plants
gets
they
to the crying mode.
put on top of you so you can't be dug up.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
not calm during fights though.
No? What do you do?
I'm not. I'm mad.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get mad.
I don't think
if I'm calm during a fight, it's a bad one and I need to go.
I feel like y'all can get worked up way more about certain things than we can. And that's why I'm saying I think you guys are way more emotional about things. And maybe it's because I've also experienced the possessiveness of men. How possessive y'all can be. I don't know. In my experience,
bring out that femininity.
I tend to be the less emotional one, and it has been brought to my attention that I am. But I won't react. That's why I feel like they are more emotional, more reactive. I will listen to you, and then I'm going to sit there and I'm going to process.
Do you think that comes with wisdom?
Maybe.
Like
maturity.
Some time, maturity and wisdom?
Maybe. So I've just experienced a lot of immature men.
And, well... We're all immature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all are.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
I have experienced men who are more immature than myself. Is that better?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's better. That's better. Yeah, because we're all immature for sure. But then you can't tell me that there wasn't a time.
Oh, there absolutely was a time that I was not okay.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say.
But see, I think it's like it says expresses emotions differently, so I think that is just a huge thing. I don't think women are inherently more emotional than men. I think we are just way more open to show that than y'all are.
That's very true.
I think that's the biggest thing.
I agree. It's weird because I cried not too long ago at my retirement party. They did a surprise party for me for my retirement. And I got teary-eyed. And... because I was a surprise, literally it was a surprise. And my boy saw me. And I think my oldest was like, Papa, I don't think I've ever seen you cry before. You know what I mean? And I know I have since he's been born, but it's rare.
I only saw my dad cry 2 times.
Yeah.
When he was alive. That's it. And that's a hard thing to see, is to watch a man who's typically just very put together.
So who's really the emotional one? I mean, men really are. Yeah.
I do. I think y'all are.
But I think women, guys put it on your shoulder, but men don't show it as much.
I think that's why you guys, I think you guys
because
are
society,
more, so.
It says, what does society allow versus suppress?
Oh, society makes fun of y'all if y'all are emotional.
Yeah, but see,
dumb.
and that's the thing. I think a woman should be able to. You know what I mean? Does it feel better? Yeah. To allow it to be emotional. I don't think society should suppress a woman to be emotional.
No, I don't think so either. I just feel like women can get a little out of hand sometimes.
Yeah.
With the emotions. For me, I'm not going to make a spectacle of it.
Yeah.
I prefer... They make fun of me at work because I'll tell them, be like, oh, I'm sad today. And they're like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'll cry when I get home. I schedule my emotions because I have work to do. I have other things I have to do. I have to take care of 3 kids. So for me, I'm like...
Wow, that's insane.
So I schedule my time. And then I'll get home and
wake up, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, Megan, you are only going to cry from 14 to 1500 today.
Essentially, yes.
Hours. Other than that, you're not going to be a poo. All right, let's go to the last one.
Oh, there's one more?
There's one more, number 10. What time are we at?
Oh, yeah. No fixing shit. What's the time on it?
We've got... Let's go ahead and just...
Yeah.